Hello, wonderful people, beautiful viewers and friends, listeners. We are here again for Nonye's Family Corner. This is another beautiful Friday, and like the excitement is always excited, not just for any other thing, but for the fact that you are here with us, and we're going to make it another beautiful, beautiful day. Last week was something else. That you thoroughly enjoyed yourselves and you learned. It was so great having two wonderful marriage counselors with us, and they did justice to that topic. We are here today again. It's another promising Friday. You know, we always deliver here at Nonye's Family Corner. We never ever leave you unfulfilled, because this is what we have signed to do. So today on the program again, we are going to be discussing something very important. Remember, all we are here to do is to help your relationship, is to help your family relationships, make it stronger and make it better. That's the reason we are here. Nonye's Family Corner has nothing else to offer you aside working on your relationship, opening your eyes to those areas that you actually need to work on and strengthen, so that the family relationship will become what it's intended to be. That's what we do here at Nonye's Family Corner. I still remain your beautiful host, Nonye Martins. On this show today, we have a wonderful, wonderful personality. You know, young, pretty, intelligent. Honestly, the very first time. You know, the strange thing about this woman is that I didn't know she was somebody I had met somewhere, you know. But talking with her on Facebook, honestly, I was like, oh, this is a fine mind. I really, really need to get this woman on the show. And lo and behold, we met ourselves, and it's someone I had actually met somewhere. Honestly, it was so amazing. So with me today is our own beautiful Patience Enakele. This woman you see here is not just any kind of person. She's a peace scholar. She's a conflict mediator. She has passion and enthusiasm for alternative dispute resolution, family harmony and unity. She's also the initiator of Family and National Development Initiative. We welcome you to the show, Patience.
Thank you, Stanley. I must say I'm really glad to be here. Having watched and listened to Sister Nonye over a period of time, I think she's doing a great job. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you very much for believing in us and for not even letting me go through any rigors to bring you here. Honestly, I'm so happy and impressed that you received with your palms wide open the invitation. All right. Today, the topic we will be looking at and extraying is the place or the position of empathy in a relationship. Empathy in a relationship. Now, when we talk about empathy, like I placed on my Facebook wall on Nonye's Family Corner, I said that empathy is not sympathy. They are two different words. Some people use, interchange those the two words, but actually they are not the same. They don't mean the same. Empathy is a deeper form. It goes beyond just having a feeling for somebody, just feeling sorry. Somebody loses his father or his mother, you just feel sorry for the person. You are sympathetic with the person. Hey, yeah, sorry, you. Look at, he stopped coming to school because his mom. That is not empathy. That is sympathy. You sympathize with someone for the person's loss. But today we want to talk about empathy. Empathy is a deeper form. So I want to come to you, Patience, please. In your understanding, what do you think empathy is?
Well, I think over time there's been this misconception about empathy, sympathy, and sensitivity. Okay. These three words, they look so similar that people take one for the other. Okay. But in actual sense, they are different. And I want to focus more on sensitivity and empathy. when you say you're being sensitive to something, it means you feel the impact of something.
Okay.
It might be the impact of light.
Okay.
Take for instance, I for once cannot sleep with light, so it means I'm sensitive to light. But when you now say you are being empathetic or you have empathy, it means you can actually look beyond that thing and go deeper. It means you're feeling the pain of that thing. Take for instance, someone is sick. It's one thing for you to feel, sorry, you're sympathizing with the person. Oh, sorry, you're sick. Understand? And it's another thing for you to say, oh, she's sick, let's treat her right.
Okay.
And when you talk about sensitivity too, you can be diplomatic. You might just decide not to say a particular word to somebody because you feel that word is going to affect that person or hurt the person. But when you are empathetic, you will start bringing yourself to the position.
Okay.
It's like switching role. You now feel like, oh, this thing is happening to me. It's different from, oh, she's sick. So it's not like you're saying, I am sick.
Okay.
I am feeling this pain. Meanwhile, it's the other person. So it means you're putting yourself in the place of that person. So that's basically the difference. One is, yes, she is sick, and the other is you're feeling, you are part of the sickness. Okay. So most times they say empathetic people are people who suffer for the cause of others. Okay. So they feel that, oh, there are problems in the world, I should solve the problems of the world. So they are always very innovative about solving the problems of the world. Okay. So empathy is about putting yourself in someone's shoe and looking for ways of remedying the person's situation.
Okay, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. Putting yourself in someone else's shoes. Now, we're talking about spouses. Yeah. So, empathy means a spouse putting himself or herself in the shoes of her husband or her wife or his wife. Now, this is very deep. This is very deep. It's very deep because it takes a lot for someone to actually feel what some other person is feeling. What are those things that can actually make someone, begin to empathize? Because as a counselor, a lot of people, when they talk to me, they tell me, I don't understand my spouse. A young woman once told me that during her period, during her monthly flow, she's not just herself. She can't help herself, Within the 4 or 5 days of that flow, she's just like a baby. She needs all the help she could get. But unfortunately, she gets married to this young man who has sisters who were not in any way put down by... He didn't even know when the sisters had their monthly period. So what's so special about that? You have something to say on that?
Yes, Sister NONYE, I think I understand how it feels because I've actually been there.
Wow.
Yes, I had this relationship and, we're trying to work things out, and there was a time I had this issue too, and it was really bad. It was really bad, and wow. I had to go online. I saw different people's recommendations, and I had to try one, and that was the use of alcohol.
Ooh.
I did it. The pain didn't actually go away, so it was really bad. And this guy didn't see what was wrong with me. Okay. He was more concerned about the alcohol that I took than the pain. What he was saying to me was, I have sisters, and my sisters go through similar experience. And I'm like, really? I'm supposed to be in this with you. What I expect you to do is, if you cannot help me, please just keep quiet. And it turned into a quarrel, really. So, but oftentimes people don't really communicate. Communication is an aspect of empathy. Communication breeds understanding, and understanding breeds empathy. Fine, there are times that you might not really be in the mood. Yes, the person, your spouse might not be in the same mood with you. So that's why if you see couples, young couples oftentimes, or people who are in a new relationship, they tend to have issues with empathy because they are just getting to know each other. They don't know each other's emotional status yet. So it will take time for them to grow and adjust to get to understand each other. And when they start like this and you start feeling like, oh, this guy is mean, this lady is not good enough. It's not really like they are not good enough. It's just that you've not been able to communicate and build your relationship to that level of understanding that brings about empathy. There are times they say, oh, I gave her 10,000 naira. She's not even appreciative of the 10,000 naira. Understand? And oftentimes it's because they're just starting. So you now see that with time, this 10,000 naira that was like very little to that person earlier, when you now communicate, he or she sees how hard you had to work to get that 10,000 naira. He or she begins to value that 10,000 naira, and you start asking, while we were dating, if I give her 10,000 naira, she just look at it as nothing. But now she actually appreciates my 10,000 naira. So it means there's a level of understanding, and this understanding has transcended into empathy.
Okay.
So you're not seeing that they are now on the same level and they're not shifting ground to accommodate one another.
Thank you so much. Let's slow down a little. You know, when you talk, when you share ideas with someone who is actually knowledgeable, she tends to like rush the points. So let's take it easy.
Okay.
Also, the first point you made is communication. Communication breeds understanding.
Yes.
Please, what do you mean by that?
Okay. I followed your write-up last week, and after the write-up, I saw some comments. I saw some ladies saying, taking my husband's money is not stealing, and I laughed over it. If you remember, if you read my comments in that particular post was, fine, taking your husband's money, it's not really a problem. But when he takes yours, will you also consider that a problem? So oftentimes, it's not really that we don't know what is right. And the concluding part of my response to that comment was, stealing is stealing.
That's right.
It's different from when he tells you to, at every time, take money from a particular place. So these are issues. There are people who would talk to you about certain things because he has told you, oh, whenever you need money, take money from somewhere. There is an understanding. The understanding is whenever you need money, take money from that place. But it's a different ball game when you say, because I am his wife.
I should.
I have a right.
And he has to understand.
Please, understanding is not automatic. Understanding is communication, agreed communication over time. So when people start saying that, oh, he understands, you're sick, you're not talking to anybody, you not say, oh, he understands. After all, he's seeing me, I'm looking very pale.
You should know that.
So we'll go as far as saying, is he blind? No, it's not blind, but because he doesn't understand your body system, you need to communicate this to him. It's when you probably communicated this and he seems not to pay attention, then you now say, oh, this guy is not understanding my situation.
That's good.
Yes, so understanding is communication over time that breeds agreements.
All right, if you're just joining us, this is Nonye's Family Corner. Today we are discussing a very vital topic. A topic that if you listen and take your time to break it down, your relationship will definitely get better. The place of empathy in a relationship. The place of empathy. We have moved from trying to define what empathy is, not just feeling, but putting yourself in the shoes of your spouse. Trying to understand. The word is understand. So this is where we are now. How do you now understand? Because from what she said, you can't be empathetic of someone who you do not understand what happens around him or her. It's the understanding that actually creates that. Now, that brings us back again to communication. Last week when we were talking about effective communication, that was what she was referring to. Some people said, you can just go and take your husband's money, and my husband's money is my money. Yeah, you don't tell anybody, you don't ask for it, and all that. Okay, you don't ask for it. You just take the money. Like she said, there's no understanding between the two of you that whenever my wife needs money, she should take money from here. There's no understanding. So whenever the person goes there to take the money without the permission of the other person, that is totally bad and totally wrong. Totally wrong. So we are discussing communication. How does a spouse communicate to his spouse or her spouse that she is very sick? Like you said, you cited this example. A woman lies down on the sofa. The man walks into the house. This is a man who's gone to work and comes back meeting the wife lying down. And throughout the day, there was no communication like, oh, honey, I'm sick, or this is my problem, or whatever. Nothing like that. How does this woman expect the husband to react or to show empathy?
Actually, people are different. That's the truth. And there's really no formula to define a man. There are some people who are sensitive. Okay. Yeah, they call them hypersensitive. What they do is, oh, seeing you like this, the first question that will come to their mind is, this woman or this man is usually not like this. The first question they ask is, madam, this one that you're sleeping like this, what's going on? Okay with you? Yes. And she starts explaining. But there are some who just walk in and say, lazy woman. And by this time of the day, she's sleeping. You understand? So if you understand, if you've known over time that your spouse is someone like this, you have to like, oh, I don't feel so well. That's when you now see some, you now start looking for ways of helping the wife. But others will just, neglect. So these are actually issues. But what I expect someone who is very empathetic to do is, oftentimes you see this woman, she's always up and very active. And now you're back to the house, you're seeing her lying down. As someone you've known over time, there's nothing wrong with you saying, oh, what's going on? That's the right thing to do. If you actually want to show concern, what's going on? And the person starts talking. The moment the person starts talking, if you're empathetic, you put yourself in that person's shoe. And that's where I'll bring role playing.
Okay.
You put yourself in that person's shoe. And when you start putting yourself in the person's shoe, the first thing you start doing is, you start asking is, what do I get you? Oh, do you want to eat something? Because, come, let's eat something. You see that most people, when they fall sick, feeding becomes difficult for them. Yeah. They have this loss of appetite and everything. You now see the other person trying to force the sick one to eat, and like, oh, I don't feel like eating. Okay, don't worry. Let me bring the food. If I bring the food, we eat together. That's, you're not only being sensitive, you're not only concerned, you are taking part in the person's sickness. That's and empathy. Together, you are going through the healing process. I saw a friend who had he has this magazine on family, and there was a picture he posted online. A lady, she had cancer. Because she was going into so much issues, she was gradually moving into depression. Yeah. Because you know, they had to scrape off her hair and everything. So she doesn't feel so depressed. The husband had to go to the salon and told the barber to use razor blade to scrape his own hair. And the whole essence was to help the woman know that yes, you're not in this alone. I am with you. So it takes someone who is highly empathetic to be able to do that. Imagine if every man and every woman can actually do this. Change position.
Yeah.
Put yourself in the position of the person
Yeah.
that is opposite you.
Wow.
You are a man, you've been out all day.
Yeah.
Your wife has been home. You come to the house, there is no food. When there's a shift, the woman should take the position of a man. Should start thinking like the man and ask the question, if I was the one who had been out all day and I come to the house and there is no food,
How would I feel? Because I was about getting to this. It's not enough to say, I'm not feeling well. When my husband comes, he should empathize with me. He should understand that I'm not feeling well. That's why you also, even in your sickness, should also empathize with your spouse.
Yes.
Okay, like you just said, oh, my husband has been out all day and he doesn't even have an idea that I'm not feeling well. He doesn't even have an idea that I haven't cooked. He must have had a very stressful day. Even if it means getting, if you can't cook, you can make an extra effort. You know, send someone, buy food. Make sure at least there is a level point.
Yeah. Yes, I agree with that. But there are times people, they say the body is like a machine.
Okay.
There are times you're normal in the morning, and in the evenings you just like, oh, in the evening of that same day you're like, oh, I am feeling very sick. There are times some people fall so sick that they can't do anything. It's understandable.
Sure.
But when you fall sick like that, if you have an understanding spouse, your spouse should be able to know that, oh, for this woman not to cook, it means this is really
good.
Really
so
serious.
it's both ways.
It's both ways.
Both ways.
It's both
It's
ways.
not like the husband should always expect the wife to be empathetic, or the wife should always expect. You actually do not expect empathy. Empathy is something that should flow from your spouse based on the understanding that you have.
Sure.
This is actually a phone-in program. You can reach us on this. Like I always say, I want to hear from you. I want to know what you feel about it. Many times I see so much comments on my thread, and I'll be like, why are all these people not calling? Why are you not speaking? Let's know what is on your mind. You can actually call us in on 090-8154-5478. 090-8154-5478. Please phone in. We will be delighted to hear from you. We are speaking with our delectable Patience and Akele. We said this is a wonderful and a fantastic woman, because whoever that promotes peace in the world, harmony in the world, is a great person. The world is in their need of peace. And it's going to start from the family. It's going to start from your relationship. When there is no peace in the home, there's little or nothing you can achieve. When there's no oneness in the home, there's little or nothing you can achieve. And that's why we are working towards ensuring that you build a healthier relationship. If you are an insensitive person, after today, we encourage you to not just become sensitive, but become empathetic. Put yourself in your spouse's shoes. We are going to go on a short break. When we come back, we will continue, because this is one show you wouldn't ever want to leave until the show is over. So thank you very much, and please don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
How you feel with the guys? Still the marketing.
It's turning things around for us. That's right. It's turning things around. Much more than I want, Lord. Wow. I enjoyed myself this break, though I I keep saying that we can make this a commercial break, really. If there is anything you want us to put up here, if there is anything you want us to tell the world, anything you want to market, anything that is family related that can help build a better relationship, that can help the bonding in the family, we can actually market this for you. So call us on. It's just something you would love to do because quite a number of people are watching and listening to this program. All right, let's come back to our topic for discussion today, which is empathy. What is its place in a relationship? This is a phone-in program. You can reach us. You can talk to us. You can talk to us. Because it's very important that we don't bottle up things. These days, look at what we see. She's going to share briefly with us on the consequences of not being empathetic. We see quite a number of issues. Why on earth would you keep quiet? Why on earth would you bottle up things? You have counselors you can talk to. Yesterday, I was speaking to a group of youths somewhere in Alaba. And it was amazing. Since yesterday till now, it's been one issue or the other pouring in, people opening up, young people. It gives me satisfaction when people talk. You don't have to bottle up anymore. Your relationship is exclusive. That's true. But someone can help you. Don't bottle up. That's why we're here now. All right. Our beautiful guest here, Patience, is talking to us about the place of empathy. Now, from all you have said, it means that when couples become empathetic, it's difficult to have assigned roles, like gender roles, like what we see in the family. It is the responsibility of the woman to provide food. Yesterday during the program, someone actually asked me that question. The guy has been married for just 2 months, and he asked, "Ma, please, is it the responsibility of a man to cook food when he has a wife, to fetch water, to scrub the floor when he has a wife? Is it the man's responsibility?" I would want to know what you have to say about this before I give my response.
Well, before I say anything, I would like to point out here that I am not a radical feminist. Yeah, I'm a lady, and you probably might say she's a feminist.
And you'll be empathetic also of women.
Exactly, yes. I am. When it comes to women, I am very passionate because I believe that fine, the man directs the house, but the function of the day-to-day running of the house oftentimes is being done by the woman. And I cannot deny the responsibility, although in African context, they are assigned roles.
Yes.
But for me, I believe that when there is actually empathy, there should not be defined role for a man and a woman.
And it's not
yeah,
not rigid roles per se.
Not rigid.
Not
because
very rigid roles.
Empathy involves doing something. Should I call it foolish? Yeah, doing something foolish for love. Yes, you're in love with this person and you understand the person. Now the society might not understand the person, and because you understand the person, you do certain things for the person which the society consider abnormal,
out of norm.
Yes. So empathy can be a form of at times. Okay, let me give you an example. My grandparents they've been married for close to 60 years.
Wow.
Yes, and my granddad has a funny way of doing things. Take for instance, as old as they are, when my grandma puts yam on the fire, for those who are from Edo State, they understand what I'm talking about. Pounded yam is a daily meal for an Edo man.
Wow.
Yes, so, but he also realizes the fact that my wife is old. She cannot pound the yam. So my grandma does the boiling of the yam. My granddad does the pounding of the yam.
Good.
This is understanding
over
between
time. The two of them.
People actually felt that, maybe according to them, they just got married. With time, he will get tired. But you see, there is even an improvement. Now that they are old, you still see it in them. This has kept them together for so long. So for me, really, there shouldn't be a role differentiation in terms of house chores. If you go to work in the morning, your husband leaves the house at 7 a.m. You leave the house at 7 a.m. Maybe by virtue of what you do as a man, you close from work by 4.
Earlier.
And probably your wife is a banker and she closes by 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. It is wrong. Please, I am pleading with the men. It is actually wrong for you to come back from work at 4 o'clock, you sit down, you're watching Nigerian, Brazil, whatever it is, and you expect someone who has been to the office all day from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. to come and start pounding for you. As a man, I don't think there's any big deal, in quotes, for you to enter the kitchen to prepare something. It's not because, yes, it's your duty or whatever, not because it is your duty.
Some men might kill you for this.
I understand. But if we must make things work, we must look at those things that kept us the way we are, that are giving us issues, and look for a way to improve them. The whole essence of this show is to improve what we already have, so that we don't lose what we have. So as a man, if you do that, it will not kill you. And trust me, your wife will love you more. Because you've actually relieved her of that stress. I listened to a conversation and somebody said, having gone to work in the morning and I came back so late, you made me cook, at night you are still coming. What are you coming to do? You understand? These are issues.
Of course.
Women are also, they are emotional. They can be very tired, yes, fine, but when you assist them in doing one or two things, it actually makes life easier for everybody,
for the whole family.
I am not saying that, yes, please don't, the women, I'm begging you especially. I am not saying that you should sit down in the parlor and allow your husband to enter the kitchen. No, that's not what Patience is saying. What I am only saying is, when the men are around and their wives are not around, they should assist. Better still, if you are too tired, and you can tell your husband, please dear, can we do the cooking together? It's actually fun. Cooking together, you can do this. It's not so difficult. Besides, so many men did cooking when they were not married. So what's it shouldn't be that because you are married you cannot do those things.
Sorry, it's just the African mentality. It's the African mentality. I'm married now, so why would I? Your mom walks into the house and sees you, the man, cooking in the kitchen, and the woman will be like, my friend, come out from that place. So why did you marry a wife? Why did you marry a wife? What I learned from what you just said is that empathy breaks barriers. Empathy breaks protocols. Empathy bridges gaps. You know, when, of course, there are assigned roles. There are assigned roles. I would never, ever, ever run away from that. It's a truth. Of course, my pride as a woman is to present food to my husband. For me, because I am available to do that, I try as much as possible to create time to do that. I see it as my role. But the point is, when I'm incapacitated, when I'm not disposed to do that, that is where empathy actually comes in. Yesterday I said, a young man that asked that question, I told him, do what works for you. The problem we have in families today is that we want to live to please others. We want to show others rather than ourselves. You rather make your mom, your dad, your uncles, and your aunties happy than your own spouse. So, if what works for you as a man is that you come back early, there is no harm in preparing food for your family, but there must be an understanding.
Sure.
Now, a young man asked me why he would continue to fetch water in his house when any day he doesn't fetch the water, the woman comes in and starts asking, but you've been in the house since morning now, why didn't you fetch water? Do you think that kind of attitude is also encouraging?
Well, I think for the woman to say that, one, I would say she's rude, really.
Okay, rude.
And these are some of the problems we have, and that's why we see a lot of domestic violence. That he's always doing it doesn't make it his duty. That he's doing certain things because it's not so convenient for you, the woman, doesn't make it his duty. So you coming home to say you've been at home all day, why didn't you fetch water? Hi, you got married to a husband and not a houseboy.
That's right.
It's your husband you're talking to. Fine, so many men, they've actually come up to say, yes, because I do certain things, the woman now sees it as her right. For crying out loud, there are rights and there are limitations. You cannot say you have absolute rights. No man has absolute rights. There are rights and there are limitations. It's actually a problem when people do not know the limitations to what they are requesting for. Because the moment you start seeing that every little thing is a right to you, over time it starts bringing problems. And if you're not careful, this same man that has been doing boy for you will turn against you.
That's very correct.
Yeah. So as a woman, you need to know where to draw the line. We've seen men who are BSc holders encouraging their wives to go do PhD, allowing them to travel around the world. Yes, it works. It's understanding.
That's right.
But at the same time, if you are a very busy woman, for crying out loud, and you know you are going to be very busy over a period of time, most men don't know how to cook. It is even better they don't eat than for them to cook. If you understand that your spouse cannot cook, and you know there's this important journey you need to embark on, what I always suggest is make
provision.
Food.
That's right.
Put it in the deep freezer if you have one. If you don't, look for alternative. Look for food that he can easily make and get it. Put it in the house for him. And I don't think when you actually do all these things, you see that the quarrels will really. I can be very stubborn. Yes, there are times. Yes, even there are times you will be very firm as a woman and say, this particular food, I'm not going to prepare it.
Okay.
Not because you actually do not like the person. I have seen situations where a man likes a particular food and the wife thinks the food is not good for the man's health.
Okay.
You understand? And whenever the man says, make this particular food for me, she says, no, I cannot make it.
Okay.
You understand? So oftentimes, because the woman is empathetic, she knows that this food, it's not good for this man's
She's
consumption.
taking her time to explain to the man why he shouldn't eat the food.
I have seen situations where she had actually explained over and over to the man, and it seems, yes, you know, when you are like the person is an addict.
Okay.
So if he doesn't take that thing, he cannot rest.
Wow.
But the wife is looking beyond, yes, making food for that man. She's looking out for the man's health.
Okay.
But the man just, you cannot tell me what to do. Yeah. If I cannot tell you what to do, then why are you married to me? These are issues. Empathy, understanding, compromise.
Yeah.
They all work together to strengthen.
Yeah, but I think that empathy is also not impulsive.
No,
it's not impulsive. You must continue to push until the person comes on the same path with you.
Yes.
Because that's what we say. That's why we talked about understanding.
Yeah.
Someone must get to that part of understanding before he can do that.
Yes.
I also have a reverse case where a woman likes a particular food so much that she could eat it from Sunday to Sunday. And the man hates the food with passion. And because this is the woman's favorite food, the food must be prepared in the house Monday to Monday, irrespective of whether the husband liked the food or wanted to eat the food. And she was always like telling the guy, you have to eat this food, it's good for you, it's good. There is no amount of food that is so good that from Monday to Monday, it's going to be prepared in your house. So, the woman also has to be empathetic. To understand that you love this food so much doesn't mean that every other person in the house must love it.
Yes. Okay, what I would suggest in that situation, because there are people who are addictive.
Yeah, we've actually talked about addiction here too.
To certain habits. Trying to change them might be really, really difficult. And that's why they say at times, when you see something you cannot change in your relationship, especially when you are approaching that altar that symbolizes marriage, you just have to either think of, oh, can I endure this, or pull out.
Yeah.
You understand? There are things that people get addicted to. If you're already in marriage, my advice in that situation is, it's not to have issues over it. If you're a woman, you like Eba so much and he doesn't like Eba, it's simple. Whenever you want to eat your Eba, please make an alternative food for him.
Yeah.
You understand? If you want to keep eating Eba morning, afternoon, night,
it's your problem.
take that extra pain to ensure that you make his own food.
That's a very good point.
Or better still, if she's too tired and exhausted, a man can also help out sometimes.
Yeah, but I don't think I buy this, because what it shows that a woman is being selfish here. If you have the time to cook your favorite food, you should also have the time to cook your husband's favorite.
Sure.
Or, of course, when I got married, we had that issue. We had a series of issues in this line, because my husband was this kind of person who was not interested in Nigerian food. And me, being a very village girl, as in village girl, it was very strange to me eating Chinese this, Chinese that. Oh my God. And I'd be like, we can't go on like this. We're married now, for crying out loud. We can't go on like this. Every day is like, okay, we eat out, we go to this Chinese restaurant, we go to... But it didn't just happen automatically. Yeah. What I started doing was like, okay, he likes vegetables. I realized that he likes... I started learning to even make some of those Chinese cuisines. I started learning to buy Nigerian vegetables that are somehow close. In my house today, in fact, I don't think, let me not say he cannot live without it, but we got to the point where swallowing became an issue. I was now telling him, Oga, you cannot continue swallowing again. Let's slow down. Because I had to, make out time to look at those areas where I know wasn't really arguing well with me, and something that will not even be beneficial to the home, not for my own, just my own selfish reasons. I know that we needed, as a family, we were about raising children. We won't take our children out to eat food every day because we want to make a man happy. So, but we kept talking about it, we kept discussing, until we started making food. I realized that, oh, his best food was vegetables, and we started making different. In my house, anything green is vegetable. Anything you can boil, and that's how we roll. So what I'm saying in essence is that you don't have to be impulsive. You don't have to drag it or force it down the throat of your spouse that, look, this is for your own good, therefore you have to stop this. You have to. No man wants to be cajoled into doing anything, or no man wants to be forced or coerced into doing things. Likewise, a lot of women also.
Sure.
So it still boils down to
Communication, and one needs, at times I actually believe that one needs to shift.
Yes, that's compromise. You talked
Yes.
about it. Compromise.
Shift.
And then you meet at a center.
And at times you need to look. The truth is, a man needs to look beyond. When I say man now, I mean man and woman. They need to look beyond selfishness. And that's why we're discussing empathy. There are times that, yes, you love this particular meal so much. You need to look beyond you. Because when you start having health issues, even as a woman, I used to be addicted to unzu.
Really?
Yes, and there was a time I fell sick. I fainted at the bus stop. It was that bad. And at the end of the day, I got to the hospital and they said, your blood level was low. And I was asking myself, what have I been doing right? Or what have I been doing wrongly? So many people adduced this to the unzu
because
intake.
it was actually abuse.
Yes, because it was something I could take 20 in a day.
Jesus.
It was that
That's
bad.
addiction.
Yes, real addiction. So when you see people battling with addiction, you might not really know how deep it can get. You tend to look at it from, yes, she's addicted to it. But over time, I had to look into this. I discovered that whenever I did this in excess, there was always a repercussion, and that was being sick. So if you are in marriage, you like probably eba so much, you should also know that eba now comes with obesity. Eba now comes with a lot of issues. So as a man, if you are empathetic, look beyond the fact that you are enjoying eba so much. Look at the consequences of eating eba so much, and look at when you fall sick, automatically a part, yes, a part of your what should have been for the family's upkeep would definitely go to the hospital. So at times you see that some spouses are very, very particular. It's as if they are forcing you to do this particular thing. I remember when I got so addictive to unzu, I had. But the best way to do this is something I've noticed over time is experiment. Try and look for an alternative to that unzu. I remember when I had so bad, some friends would go out and start eating tiger nut. I don't have the time to eat unzu. So I believe that when you are empathetic, you shift ground.
That's right.
Because you are considering the effect of your action on the family and on the other person.
That's right.
And the other person is also looking for ways to help you adjust to this desired place he or she wants you to be. It might not be forceful, it might be over time. But the best advice for one who wants to change the order is for the person to look for other alternatives. What can I use to replace this person is addicted to that is less or not harmful?
Wow.
I think that's the solution.
This is simply amazing. This is simply amazing. Yes, you must come to a compromise. Relationships never get better until people learn to shift grounds. People learn to shift grounds. Yes, we're talking about food now. There are so many other things that couples or spouses need to shift grounds on. You need to be empathetic on. Of course, I felt really, really hot when you raised the issue of you going into alcohol because you felt it was going to alleviate your problem, and then someone is there not really understanding why you went into this and was not even ready to understand that this is not just because I want to drink alcohol, and I think that's why a lot of problems arise in homes, because we don't even understand what the other person is going through. Recently, a young woman shared something with me. I have her permission to share it here, or of course I won't mention her name. She got married to a medical doctor, for crying out loud, who should understand what it means. I want to share this because understanding is not automatic.
Sure.
It's not automatic. It's not something you just say, hey, he should know, or she should know. It's not something that comes with your level of education, or something that comes with your background or whatever. It's something that you cultivate and you develop. So this young woman was married to this young guy, very young guy, and she got pregnant. After maybe 1 year of the relationship, she got pregnant, and the pregnancy was really, really, really like, hell for her. She even had to take off, some time from her office to, see the first trimester off. And this medical doctor comes into the house every day and like, what's the meaning of this? Oh, there's no food to eat. Oh, there's not, what's the meaning of it? Look at young children, adolescents who even get pregnant and they come to the hospital and they carry the children to term. You are 30 or even over. What are you doing? This girl told me that she was so heartbroken. She was so heartbroken. It got to the point where the guy would go out, buy food for only himself, bring the food to the house, sit down, eat it, finish the food, drop the plates there, and go into his room to sleep. Now, I'm not trying to justify a woman who didn't cook for her husband, but we're talking about empathy. Understanding that a woman who has always been up and doing and suddenly goes down needs your attention, needs your understanding, needs you to know or to show her. Yesterday during my talk with the youth, the topic was on relationships that leads to a lasting marriage. The first question I asked them, who is a friend? Who is a friend? What do you see in someone before you say, this person is really my friend? And they started enumerating so many qualities. And I said, look, if you don't find this, please don't get married to the person. Because it's only a friend that can take time to understand your plight and empathize with you. A lot of couples today have issues in relationships because they are not friends. Don't you think so?
Well, I think friendship goes a long way to determine how people relate when it finally gets to that point in time.
Yeah.
But the challenge we are having now, it's still part of the African setting.
Okay.
You see a lot of pressure from people around
External
you.
family.
Yeah, at times you see friends who are married and you just want to be called that Mrs.
Yeah.
We've seen situations where you see flamboyancy and you think, yes, marriage is all about being flamboyant, and you just go into it without really taking your time to understand the situation. But there are some people who are bold enough, who are strong enough to at one point or the other see the reality they are about to go into, and they take a break for a while. But others will just go into
let me just get married.
Yes,
we'll sort it out.
When you talk about friendship is not something you go into sympathetically.
Good.
Because over time you're seeing that, oh, this person is your friend, this person you it seems you're close, but over time when you talk, you don't understand each other, you fight over little thing, and you start wondering, you start asking yourself, you start doubting yourself.
Yeah. Should
I do this? Should I not do this? And most times, because you tend to lie about the friendship you have, the issue is not
I like that.
Yes,
you lie to yourself.
Yes, you lie to yourself and
that's
say,
true.
he's my friend, she's my friend.
Yeah.
Not because she's
you're really
your
convinced
friend.
that this is a friend.
Or maybe there's some will I call it something. There's something you are enjoying in that relationship. It might be that it might be that financially.
That's good.
Or that he takes you. You know the guy is cute.
Yeah.
Like, the guy is cute.
So
he will
just
start
speaking.
acting like an idiot. See that this guy is sorry,
Now
I'm
you
using
see.
this word,
Foul.
idiot. You are seeing it that yes, this guy doesn't respect you.
Yeah.
But because you're looking at the fact that the guy is fine, you're making
FEZ.
excuses for him. And because you're making excuses for him, when someone tells you, this guy that you're following, he's like this, he's like that. You're like, no,
He's not like
he's not
that.
always like that. I don't just making excuses
for what you know is
for
true.
him. When you're not getting, that's where domestic violence actually comes in. More often times, people say, "Were there no signs?" The signs are there.
They are always there.
There was something I wrote on Facebook some time ago. I said, people get married and they start saying he has changed, she has changed. No, he has not, she has not. The truth is, now that you are married, you're beginning to see the reality of what you conceived. Because the truth is, what you program your mind to see is actually what you will see.
That's very
And
correct.
if you start...
Tell us a little about your Family and National Development Initiative. What is it all about?
Family and National Development Initiative, FANDI, was actually something I conceived while, I think that was like 2014.
Okay.
And it was something that was divinely inspired, really. Because I was in the house and I was looking at issues around me, and something just triggered that feeling that, oh, a lot can be done. We cannot keep talking about societal problems. We cannot keep saying that Nigeria is bad, Nigeria is bad, without looking at why Nigeria is bad. Nigeria is just a name of a place. It is people who have made Nigeria. If Nigeria is bad, it means those in Nigeria, the people that forms Nigeria, they are actually the ones with the problem. So and I felt, oh, if you are actually going to solve this problem, it's fine to apportion blame to the government, the leaders, but these leaders came from somewhere. They are born into families. And if you don't heal the family, you cannot heal the society. And when I say heal the family, how do you heal the family? What are your value system? Those are the things you need to look into when you really want to heal the families. You need to look at the value system. What values are you instilling on that son or daughter of yours? Are you teaching them to be oppressive? If you are teaching them to be oppressive as children, when they finally grow up to become leaders, they will become oppressive leaders.
That's right.
So that's where I decided to come up with this initiative. And what do I do at FANDI? At FANDI, we talk about issues. There are times we do like mini radios, we do write-ups, we do consultation, we do seminar. I remember losing a friend to a rapist. Yeah, she was just about getting married, like 2 weeks to her wedding, and she was raped here. She died, and I felt that all these issues are issues that
need to be addressed.
Yes, and you can only address them when you start bringing into the consciousness of a child the ills and the do's and the don'ts of the society. That you need to start with paying attention to the child while he's growing, and putting in place those values that are sustainable, that are positive. So that's exactly what FANDI is all about. But looking beyond that, just recently we added another program to FANDI, because at a point I had to pause FANDI for a while to go acquire the required skills to move this forward. So I took a course in peace and conflict studies. What I do is I look at what issues that can bring about conflicts, how to deal with parties in conflict, and we came up with this family mediation. There's this adage in Yoruba land that says you cannot take me to court, we'll come back and become friends. So the essence of family mediation under FANDI is to mediate in family conflict, to see that this conflict are resolved without going
Amicably.
to the formal court system.
Okay. So that they can remain friends.
Yes, so that they can remain
settlement.
friends. Even if you're having issues with child care, the father is not taking care of the children, and instead of going to seek redress in court, you come to Fandi, and Fandi will try mediate and see what can be done. That's what we do there.
This is simply amazing. So why die in silence? Why just keep quiet? You already have someone to talk to. You have someone to talk to. Please and please, you can take this phone number. You can reach her. You can reach us. We're here for you. We can help you resolve your family conflicts. We can help you move on. We can mediate. So you can get her on 080 66 54 1303. You can actually call her number so that you can talk to her. You can also talk to us. We are always there for you. Join us on Facebook on NONYE's Family Corner. Just go, log on to NONYE's Family Corner, send us a request, and we will add you to that page. There we discuss a lot about issues. We discuss family. We discuss way forward. If you want it private, please send a chat to my number 081-8749-1061. 081-8749-1061. You can WhatsApp us. We will attend to your issues. Finally, this is where we draw the curtain for today. Thank you so much for being here with us. Our Facebook friends, you've been wonderful, wonderful, very, very wonderful. We praise you for being here with us, that we're making impact.